Language learning for children. Let's talk about what to do for children first, and then the next video in this series will consider teens and adults. It's best if children can start learning a second language by age 10 or so. If they start before that, they can be successful, but they'll need clear support for their primary language and culture, as well as their target language and culture. The main advantage of children learning a language is that they automatically apply the same processes they used for the L1 with their L2. Okay? They don't need long grammatical explanations because they never had any for the L1, first of all, and of course, they don't possess the mental processing abilities to understand detailed grammar explanations anyway. For children, we should remember that playing is learning. They learn about the world and about language by playing. When we introduce new language in a fun and interesting way, they are motivated to use it. It's best that the new language features should be something they're familiar with in their native language. If they don't know how to order a menu in their first language, for example, they're likely to struggle with that concept in English, the whole concept, and not just the English aspect of it. Adults provide comprehensible input for the child by modifying their language. Virtually every culture on earth has this simplification from adult to child. But there are a few cultures that don't believe in changing their language for children. Regardless, this interaction of real communication in the target language between adult and child is essential to acquisition. The more use, the more practicality, the more purpose for the target language, the more likely acquisition will occur naturally. The other aspect for this is that adults are the language mirror for kids. It can be demotivating for children if every mistake is corrected in a very pointed and detailed manner. It's more desirable to use the recast method of correction with children. When they make an error, repeat back to them with the correct language. The adult becomes a mirror that reflects back language with correct grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation. Children will unconsciously pick up on most corrections. Before puberty, it's unlikely that any error will have a chance to fossilize. In general, errors are a natural process of acquiring a language, so there shouldn't be a lot of concern about mistakes and errors in young children. A silent period of comprehension should be expected with every beginning learner. This is likely easier to provide to children than for adults. Total physical response is a good technique for children because they can get lots of input and practice without having to say anything. When the output comes, speaking will develop before writing does. All right, so when students are ready to produce language, instead of just listening, they are likely to start speaking first. Well, not likely. They will start speaking before they'll start writing. Girls are usually faster speakers, so it's important to allow boys extra time for silent comprehension. Resist assessing girls and boys at the same rate and in the same method because their brains develop in different ways. When it comes to reading, children should be taught the 26 letters of the alphabet and the general sounds that accompany them. While there are at least 44 sounds created by those 26 letters, most experts believe it's best to wait until the child's a little older before explaining the other sounds. It's important to read aloud to children. There are also websites that will read stories to children. This stage is important to connecting the sound with the letter on the page. And when kids are ready, they should be asked to read aloud so that they can have their pronunciation gently corrected, and they'll continue to learn vocabulary and phrases. While children will never doubt their ability to learn a second language unless they're told how hard it is by someone else, they may get frustrated at not mastering the new language quickly. One way of combating a child's frustration is by getting them to memorize chunks of language. This can be done through chants or songs. Nursery rhymes and jokes can also provide feelings of accomplishment. Even if the language is not extremely useful every day, the important aspect is that they feel successful at having learned English. Obviously, the whole curriculum cannot revolve around nursery rhymes, but there's a reason they're part of a child's L1, and they can be useful as a part of their L2 also. Remember that children's brains are in development from birth through shortly after puberty. According to Piaget, from 5 to 7 years of age, they're mostly concerned about themselves, what they want to do, and who they are. The here and now is all their brain can handle. They use intuition instead of logic for the most part. They have limited memory, although repetition can embed ideas permanently in their memory. Then from 8 to 11 years old, they become conscious of concrete ideas. Simple past, present, and future have meaning to them. They can think rationally about what they can see and touch. Finally, from 12 to 15 years old, their brain fully develops. It becomes capable of handling abstract concepts and theories. They can apply rules to a variety of situations. So, in summary, teaching children a second language should be kept fun and playful, related to what they know in their native language. Help them recognize the usefulness of the second language. Be a mirror of correct language for them. Provide modified comprehensible input. Teach the alphabet and how to read aloud. Provide successful language learning experiences for them. And keep in mind their cognitive limitations.